Hi everyone, I'm Fabio from Higher Hertz Project, and today I'm gonna show you the new Hammertone Series pedals by Fender, including all the 9 pedals from the overdrive, the fuzz, distortion, metal, chorus, flanger, delay, space delay, and finally the reverb. The Hammertone series is very basic but with a great functionality. As you can see, all the 9 pedals has really shared look, shared features, and let me start with the most important features in my opinion is on the back of the pedal. So basically all the pedals of the Hammertone series have on the back a screw that you can unscrew and open the pedal, and you can find trim pots. Depending on the kind of pedals, you can find trim pots about frequencies, so maybe a filter, so high pass filter, low pass filter, maybe tone range, you can change the tone range, and this is basically about the dynamic pedal, so for overdrive, fuzz, distortion and metal. Instead, about the modulation pedal, you can find something about the depth, so you can change the depth, you can change the rate, so you can make maybe the speed of the modulation faster or slower and stuff like that. If I remember well, the chorus and the reverb are the only pedals that do not have any trim pots, okay? Keep in mind. So as you can see, these Hammertone series pedals have the same design and basically they seems like stone, obviously are in aluminum, really simple, really minimal, but really cool. But if you see closer to the finish, so the finish of this, let me say a raw pedal, on a side is really cool, but on the other side, it's really difficult to read all the written parts on this finish. So keep in mind if you want maybe read better during a live situation, for example. So let me introduce you one by one these pedals, and of course we will listen some demo samples. Let's start from the right, so from the overdrive and then up to the reverb. So starting from the overdrive, I really liked this overdrive because I think it sounds really organic. You have 4 different knobs, of course the overall gain, of course the level and the tone, but the most important thing for me is the pre-mids. This pre-mid knob is basically placed before the saturation, so you can push more where you want to saturate. So this is very useful for solos, for example. Let's listen how this pedal sounds. Switching to the fuzz, I really like the purple look, and this fuzz can be really aggressive. So let me say it's really an aggressive fuzz, and if you use a really high amount of gain, you can also listen a sort of gated fuzz, and I really like this behavior. You have also a switch, it's called octave. This basically will engage an upper octave. So be careful with this octave because they can create really messy sound. Talking about distortion, you can have normal knobs you can find on a distortion, so again, for example, the level. But about the equalization, you can have separately the treble and the bass. And this is really important because when you use a saturation pedal, so distortion and overdrive, the guitar sound will lose some of the bass response. So it's really great to have a bass knob here, but pay attention because this bass knob will engage really too much bass, in my opinion. Can sound just a bit too boomy. Okay, let's listen. Let's now switch to the metal pedal. This will be very similar to the distortion pedal. You can find the same kind of knobs. They are basically named differently, so instead of treble and bass, you can find high and low, but are basically the same. But I found that the metal pedal is just a bit more dynamic on the sound compared to the distortion pedal. The distortion is just a bit more scooped, so you have more saturation on the highs and bass and less on the mid frequencies. Instead, with the metal pedal, you have just a bit more open sound, so just a bit more mid sound. keep in mind that these four dynamic pedals, so overdrive, fuzz, distortion, and metal, can sound really different depending on your system, so depending on your amplifier. And for this reason, you have the trim pods to tweak inside this pedal, because I try out with different amplifiers and they can sound from really dark to really too bright. So this is a really plus to have this trim pod, because you can manage the sound to make it sound properly and perfect for your system. This is great. Let's now switch to the modulation pedal. Let's start with the chorus. The chorus, as you can see, you have three knobs. You have, of course, the rate and the depth and the overall level. And you can have the tone switch. You basically will engage an high pass filter, so we can have a chorus only in a very focused sound in the high frequencies. Instead, with the type switch, you can engage three kind of types, so you have three different positions. Up, you will get really standard chorus, so only one voice of chorus. On the second position, so on the middle position, you can engage double chorus, so basically you have two different voices. On the low position, so the third position, you will engage four different voices, so the chorus will be very emphasized. Switching to the flanger, you have the same knobs of the chorus, so you have the depth, so will be the overall mix, the rate and manual. And you have two different tiny switches. With the type switch, you will change the polarity of the flanger, so from positive polarity to negative polarity. Positive polarity, you have all the very rich sound of the flanger, while with the negative polarity, you will engage a sort of phase cancellation, and also will emphasize the resonance. So with the resonance switch, you have three different positions. From low to high will increase the resonance behavior. Switching to the delay pedal, you have three different positions, so you can have different delay. With the upper position of the type switch, you have the digital delay, so all the repetition will be a copy, so all the same. While on the middle position, you have an analog 1 delay. It will be just a bit warmer, and on the lower position, you will have an analog 2 type of delay. This will change also the equalization during the repetition, so it will be really analog sound. And of course you can change the time, the feedback and the overall level. You can also engage a modulation, basically will sound like a delay with a chorus together. The space delay will be very similar to a normal delay, but will emulate basically a tape delay. So you have this pattern switch, basically will change the heads of tape delay, and you can have different pattern. You can also engage a modulation with this pedal. Let's listen these different patterns. The last pedal is the reverb. I really like this reverb because you can engage three different types of reverbs, from hall all the way up switch of the type. You can have also a room type with the switch in the middle, and with the switch all the way down you can engage a plate reverb. Will be very interesting. You have also this damp knob on the reverb pedal, and this is very interesting because we'll change the equalization on the tail of the reverb and also the time of the tail. Basically you can create brighter tail and really long, or very dark and short tail. So let's listen the behavior of this reverb. Okay guys, this was the Hammertone Sirius pedal by Fender, 9 new guitar pedals. This was Fabio from Higher Heads Project. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!